When you think of a legendary Goliath from Japan who fights monsters, you probably think of Godzilla. But to Japan, there are several legendary giants that could fit this description. The best known of them all, except for Godzilla, is Ultraman. As far as I know, the average American knows next to nothing about this legendary Japanese Superman. In this video, I explain the origins of Ultraman, his powers, and his most legendary foes. Ultras are humanoid aliens from a land called Nebula M78, commonly called the Land of Light. 270,000 years ago, the Ultras used to be a species nearly identical to humanity, who lived on a highly sophisticated world orbiting a dying sun. When this sun finally blew up, it left their once bright world in darkness, and this once sophisticated people facing extinction. But even then, the people of Nebula M78 were survivors. They built an artificial, sun-like power source called the plasma spark, which had unexpected side effects. It transformed the people of Nebula M78 into towering giants with a mastery of a special energy called specium. These people, now dubbed Ultramen, decided to use their powers in service of justice, and to preserve peace throughout the universe, traveling the cosmos in an eternal struggle against the servants of darkness, often fighting terrible kaiju such as Bemular or Zaton. Ultraman himself first appeared in the series of the same name, which premiered in 1966 and finally ended its run in 1967. It was the successor to Ultra Q, a kaiju-centric series where a new skyscraper-sized monster appeared each episode to terrorize humanity. Ultraman would be similar to its predecessor show, but instead of humanity being left to deal with the threat all by themselves, a new hero steps in to save the day each week. This series was produced by E.G. Tsuburaya himself, who is the special effects director of the original Godzilla film in 1954, and many subsequent Godzilla films, making both Godzilla and Ultraman the two most iconic characters in Japanese cinema, the product of the mind of Tsuburaya. The series starts with Ultraman, traveling in a red sphere, pursuing Bemular, a kaiju who escaped from the monster graveyard, which is where monsters go when they die. In his pursuit of Bemular, Ultraman crashes into Special Science Search Party member Shin Hayata's VTOL jet, crashing the vessel and killing Shin Hayata in the process. In an act of mercy, Ultraman gives Shin Hayata his life, giving Hayata the ability to turn into Ultraman at will, using a device called the Beta Capsule. Throughout the series, Shin Hayata uses this device in service of the Special Science Search Party, essentially a team of monster hunters, to become Ultraman and take out monsters in the process. This show would become the framework for all other subsequent Ultraman shows, with a human Ultraman host saved from death by an Ultraman, who usually ends up joining, or at least working with, a special team of monster hunters to combat aliens, kaiju, and full-blown invasions. Ultraman's abilities include his iconic Specium Ray, a ray of Specium energy that Ultraman shoots out of his hand by crossing his arms. A disc of Specium that he can throw at his enemies, which is potent enough to cut an alien in half from top to bottom. The ability to grow to a size of about 40 meters. Flight, and the ability to travel deep space in a red sphere. He has many other abilities as well, but these are the basics as presented in the original series. Ultraman has many enemies, but I will highlight the most notable of them just to give you an idea of what Ultraman has to face in the series. First is Bemular. As I mentioned earlier, Bemular escaped from the monster graveyard and made his way to Earth, where he became Ultraman's first opponent on the planet, and the first monster Shin Hayata ever faced while merged with Ultraman. He has a blue heat ray very similar to Godzilla's, a roar that is Godzilla's but sped up and reversed, small T-Rex-like arms, and spikes down his back. The only real reason he is notable is because he is Ultraman's first opponent. Then there is Jiras, a Loch Ness monster-like kaiju raised by a mad scientist. He is notable for being one of the few Ultraman kaiju that makes use of a modified Godzilla suit to portray the kaiju. And he is essentially Godzilla, but with a frill around his neck and painted green. And there is Gamora, one of my personal favorites. Gamora was the first kaiju to ever end a fight with Ultraman in a tie, wearing Ultraman out and exhausting his energy reserves before Ultraman could do any real damage to the kaiju. Gamora is a prehistoric dinosaur kaiju with a deadly tail that he uses to keep Ultraman at a distance. He is one of the few kaiju in Ultraman who does not have alien origins. Then there is Zeton, a deadly kaiju used by the alien Zeton species to invade Earth. He is notable for two reasons. First, his completely unique design, and second, for being the first kaiju to defeat Ultraman, not including Gamora's draw. Then there's Ultraman Belial. Ultraman Belial is a fallen Ultraman who first appeared in Mega Monster Battle, Ultra Galaxy Legends the movie. Belial was once an Ultraman who became hungry for power and attempted to steal the power of the Plasma Spark, Nebula M78's artificial sun. He was caught and exiled, where he merged with an alien named Rayblood, an ancient evil capable of granting the power to control monsters. He attacked Nebula M78 in revenge for being exiled, where he was only stopped when Ultraman King, King of the Ultras, imprisoned him in a moon-like structure orbiting the Land of Light. Belial escaped, took the Plasma Spark, took over 100 monsters, and was only stopped by an powerful Ultraman named Zero. Belial is notable for being a reoccurring enemy in the series, one of the few Ultramen to ever turn evil in the franchise, and for being one of the most imposing and powerful villains in the franchise. This was the history of Ultraman, hero of the Land of Light. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I would highly recommend liking this video, commenting, and subscribing to JPZilla.